What is up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are excited as I am because I have the new DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin collection. If you guys are curious about this collection, how it works on my skin, then keep watching. And if you are new here, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophia, and this is where we talk about all things beauty and makeup. If you want to see a little bit more beauty, especially luxury beauty in your feed, please consider subscribing to my channel, and you can hit the notification bell to hear about every time I post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, guys. It really helps my channel. And quick reminder that I will link everything mentioned in this video and everything that is on my face in the description box below. Let's get into it. By the way, guys, this might be a little bit of a longer video just because we are going to go really in depth with our demo, our wear test, and just kind of going through the ingredients in this product. So if you want to skip ahead, timestamps will be listed down below. All right, friends, let's get into these products from DANESSA MYRICKS. If you aren't familiar with DANESSA MYRICKS, she is a fantastic makeup artist. I love following her on Instagram and seeing all of the amazing looks that she creates. I will link her Instagram down below. If you take a look at her content and a lot of the looks that she creates, you will notice she is just the queen of glowy, yummy skin. She makes the most gorgeous skin and eye looks. Like I really admire her, honestly, guys, and watching her do makeup is so interesting. Now, if you guys have used DANESSA MYRICKS products before, you will know she already has a foundation out on the market that is called the Vision Cream Cover. I have the shade here, N02, and you'll notice that this comes in a very, very small bottle, okay, guys? But the key to this is that this is very, very concentrated. You really only need a very tiny amount. This is something that DANESSA originally designed more so for the makeup artists out there. And it's really designed to be like mixed together with other colors, mixed together with her oil. It's made to be very concentrated so that it can fit very easily within a makeup artist kit. And what she does is that she really only uses a very tiny amount. She primes the skin with a lot of oils. She mixes this with things. So it makes a lot of sense for a makeup artist point of view. But what she wanted to do with this new Yummy Skin collection is she wanted to create something that was as good and as long wearing as Vision Cream Cover, but something that was geared a little bit more towards the everyday consumer. You'll notice, guys, she's releasing a lot of products that are still very true to her brand, still very creative, but lately are a little bit more like relatable to the average consumer, because she is trying to get as many people using her brand as possible and really grow her business. So I definitely think that this is a very smart decision. So with this particular Yummy Skin foundation, what she has said in her videos is that she really wanted to create something that just was yummy and delicious and gorgeous straight out of the bottle, where you don't really need a lot of mixing, you don't need to combine it with anything. It's basically just extremely user friendly, which is great for just kind of the average makeup lover like you and me. So let's talk a little bit about each of these products, starting with the Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. This foundation is $34 and it comes in 26 shades. She said in one of her recent Teach Me Tuesdays that these particular shades that she designed were basically designed to kind of like fill in the gaps where she saw almost like missing undertones in a lot of other foundation collections. If you guys are kind of struggling to pick your color, because I know that that happened to me, I would suggest going to her Instagram, looking at her Teach Me Tuesday videos about this product, because she does have a video where she swatches all of the shades, and I found that to be incredibly helpful. My shade is 4N, but I also have 3P that I will show you guys the difference when we do the demo. And this foundation is described as a skincare hybrid foundation with medium buildable coverage that effortlessly creates a natural looking skin-like glow. And it says here on Sephora, the coverage once again is medium, the finish is radiant, and some of the highlighted ingredients here are jojoba oil, hyaluronic acid, and olive-derived squalane. And I'm gonna get into the ingredients more so in my final thoughts, kind of break them down and give you guys my thoughts on those. But in general, this particular formula, it has a lot of emollients in it. I actually think that it is full coverage, and you will see that in the demo. I'm gonna really kind of get into the details of this particular formula and who I think that it is good for. But again, it also has hyaluronic acid and squalane. These are pretty gentle ingredients. They're moisturizing. They have some anti-inflammatory properties. So there's a lot of really good skincare in this product. And in fact, DANESSA MYRICKS did do a clinical trial with this. I will put the results of that trial in the description box down below so you can take a look at those results. I will just say though, guys, kind of take all those things with a grain of salt. Really try this out and see how it works for your skin. I'm guessing that DANESSA MYRICKS doesn't have a huge lab like maybe a L'Oreal or an Estee Lauder, and there were only 30 women included in this study. So just kind of take that in mind when you see these sorts of stats. We don't really know like how they're measuring statistical significance. So that's kind of like the scientific skeptic in me, but I just want to mention that she did put this through a clinical trial and it did perform very well. I also do want to mention that this product is refillable. You'll see right here, you can kind of just refill this little squeezy part in the middle, and it also is vegan and cruelty-free. Okay, friends, now we have the other product in this collection. This is the Yummy Skin Glow Serum Primer. It's basically like a combination between a skincare serum and also a primer for your skin, and it's also glowy and yummy, of course. And this comes in 2 shades. The shades are called Main Squeeze and Juice Boost. I have the color Main Squeeze, which is the lighter of the two, and then Juice Boost is more of like a bronzy golden color, whereas this is a little bit more of like a true light gold color. This also retails for $34, and both of these products, by the way, guys, you can get on the DANESSA MYRICKS site and at Sephora. This is described as a skincare infused radiant priming serum that hydrates, preps, and protects skin for a lit from within glow. It says here on Sephora that the finish is radiant, it's for all skin types, and it tackles dryness, pores, and uneven tones. Some of the highlighted ingredients are vitamin C, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid. This also has a lot of like fruit extracts in it, and just like the foundation, this also went through a clinical trial where they saw improvements in fine lines, wrinkles, and dryness. So there you have it, guys. Those are all the details about these products. We have a nice skincare focused glowy primer, and then we have an equally skincare focused yummy skin foundation. I do want to mention, guys, this video is not a first impressions video. I have been testing these products out for a couple of days, okay? I really want to give you guys my full thoughts, and I like to give these products a chance. I've been trying the foundation on its own. I've been trying it with the primer. I've also been trying this primer with other foundations in my collections, especially ones that are like a little bit more on the matte side. So I do want to say that just kind of going into the demo and the wear test. And for anybody that is new here, my main skin concern is dryness. I have a very dry skin type. I am 31 years old. I have some fine lines here. I typically see like dry spots around my mouth, and that's really what I'm going to be looking for here. Like, does this last really long on my face? Does it stay yummy? Does it stay glowy? And does it hydrate my skin? So I do just like to mention that I really like super hydrating, super glowy, yummy formula. So I'm really excited to give this a try for you guys. So with that, let's get into the demo and then the full day wear test. Okay, party people, I have you up close. Let's get into these products from DANESSA MYRICKS. And if you guys are new here, I always film these types of reviews in natural light. So we've got a nice morning light today, and I will always zoom in and kind of show you the products in as natural of an environment as possible. So I just want to mention that. And real quick, also, I will show you guys my skin just bare. So I have cleansed, exfoliated, and moisturized, so we have a nice smooth canvas. I have used the Creme de la Mer as my moisturizer today, and then just have a little sunscreen on top. But as you guys can see here, like my skin, I have a little bit of texture, and I have a little bit of discoloration, dark circles. Those are my main concerns, are just dryness and then kind of like uneven skin texture. So I always like to show you guys what my skin looks like in the natural light before applying the products. Let's pop on our little there right here. All right, let's start off with the Glow Serum, and this is what the packaging looks like, just so you guys know. I have the shade Main Squeeze, which is the lighter of the two. I honestly was debating which one to get. I really wasn't sure, so I decided to get the lighter of the two, and this is what the actual packaging looks like. It's really pretty. I like it, and I like that it's really easy to kind of like set down on a table. I just did a quick swatch for you guys so you can see what this looks like on my hand, and you can get a better idea of the texture. And I will film some close-ups for you guys as well, but I always feel like just being able to kind of observe the texture is really helpful. Now let's apply this to my face. It's fun because it feels like like a little condiment or something like that. And I'm actually going to be putting this on just half of my face so that we can tell the difference between having the primer, not having the primer. I've already tested this with other foundations and with this foundation, so I will share with you guys what I think in my final thoughts. But for the purposes of this wear test, and so that you guys can really let me know what you think, I'm gonna put this on this side of my face so that we can see. I will mention right off the bat, this formula feels amazing. It feels really, really good. I love the texture. It's very smooth. It's like, you know, it's a little sticky, but it does dry down. But it doesn't feel sticky when you are smoothing it out. It just feels, it feels juicy. It feels juicy, okay, guys? It really does have a lovely, like, skincare like texture. And that is what it looks like on my face. Again, this is what it looks like with just my moisturizer and sunscreen. And then what it's done is it's just added a lot of glow and a little bit of light reflection. Like, the skin is definitely, it's definitely blurred, like a little bit, I guess you would say, and it's shinier. So this is what it would look like if you were to just wear this on its own. It really doesn't provide that much coverage. It's not, you know, it's a primer, guys, okay? So I wanna emphasize that it's really not gonna add any kind of coverage. And maybe if I had gotten the Juice Boost, which is the darker shade, maybe it would have made me look a little bit more tan. Comment down below and let me know if you want me to get that and share my thoughts on the darker shade. Next up, we have the foundation. Now, what I recommend doing if you guys are on the fence with choosing a shade is definitely go to DANESSA MYRICKS's Teach Me Tuesday videos on her Instagram, because she just recently, at the launch of this product, posted a video where her and her team swatch all of the shades, and I found that to be extremely helpful. I have two of the shades today. I have the shade 3P, which is the third lightest shade and is supposed to be a little bit more cool tone. And then I also have the shade, which for me, this is my shade, which is 4N. You'll find that these lean more on the light side. I'm gonna compare the two of these for you guys just so that you can see the difference. But first I ordered 3P, and when I saw that swatch video, I ordered 4N. And you're gonna kind of see in the application why this one works better for me. But this one looked like it would be kind of dark for me when I looked at it on the site, but when she swatched it, I said, you know what, that's perfect, and it has a neutral undertone. It's a little bit difficult if you have a neutral undertone and you are pale like me, because the first three shades, none of them have a neutral undertone, so I was a little bit confused. So I went for 3P, but you guys will see 4N is actually a better shade for me. So let's get into this formula. So just like the serum, it comes in really cute packaging, and when you twist this off, you'll notice it is a squeezy tube. It's like a little mustard, like ketchup mustard bottle. I love it. So this little part in the middle squeezes, and that's how you get the product out. Now, let me show you the texture of this foundation. All right, so I have not put that much on my hand right here. Let me show you. Do you see that texture? Number one, you can see very hydrating, very glistening here, but you'll also notice this is not your typical serum foundation. This isn't a skin tint at all. It says that it's medium coverage, but I would definitely call this full coverage. Like, what do you guys think? Because the first time I put this on my face, guys, oh my gosh. You know when you go with a new product and you soon realize you're like, oh no. You know that meme where it goes, oh no, oh no, 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 no. That's what happened to me. It was absolute cake face. I immediately realized I put on way too much product. I actually feel like this is very concentrated, just like her original foundation is, where you kind of need to mix it with a little bit of oil or just use very little of it. I found the same with this. Like, look how opaque this is. And this is the shade 3P. So I really need to emphasize to you guys, don't use too much of this on your face. I'm gonna show you how I like to apply it, because it's just gonna get extremely cakey on your skin, and you're gonna have a really hard time evening it out, and it's gonna look like a mask, which is another reason why, like, this is similar to a lot of the shades that I have, but I don't want to look washed out. So that's why I go for the 4N. Let me show you that color. So this is the shade 4N, okay? It's just a little bit darker, and it's definitely more neutral in tone, which you can see, like, it's not gonna be so ghostly on me. So I just wanna point that out. There's a bit of a jump, guys, between some of these shades. Comment down below and let me know if you had trouble finding your shade or if you felt like there was a jump. I'm obviously looking at the first like 4 or 5 shades normally, and it was very hard for me to figure out if this was going to work. So yeah, hopefully you guys can really tell by my swatches here what this texture is going to be like and just how full coverage this is. I honestly feel like it's full coverage and it's very concentrated. So let me show you how I like to apply this to my face. So the way that I like to apply this to my face is with a damp sponge. You guys know I'm a brush girl. Like, I like to use makeup brushes, that's what I'm into, but with some formulas, I do feel like a sponge is good. This is the kind of thing that I like to use with the KVD Good Apple Balm Foundation and other more like full coverage things that I really want to sheer out. So let's put this on my face. I'm just gonna pick up the 4N that I had on my hand there, and you can see just one dab from the product that was on my hand. I've already covered my entire cheek. And you can really blend it up around your face. Less is more. So you can see no lights, just sunlight. This is what we had before, and this is what we have now. So I definitely would recommend a damp sponge. I'm just gonna add a little bit more to my hand and do the other half of my face. I like to take the squeezy tube and just kind of dot it around like that, just to make sure that I don't pick up too much. Cause look, imagine if that was like everywhere. Because if you put too much of this, guys, it's going to start to get cakey and it's going to get into your fine lines and your smile lines. It's not gonna be a good look. Like, apply this in layers. Start off with just a little bit and then go in with a little bit more, or maybe just like a teeny little bit of concealer, because that is the trick to this foundation. Do not put on too much. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. I really barely used any product, so this is gonna last you a very long time. And you can see the 4N matches almost perfectly with my neck and my chest, so this is great. For reference, I'm usually like one of the first 2 shades. I'm usually one of the first 2 or 3 shades in a color spectrum, and I usually go for the neutral undertone. So I hope that that is helpful if you guys are maybe like a similar shade. But yeah, let's just zoom in right here. You guys can see this has a very kind of moisturizing, sheeny texture to it. It's so concentrated that honestly, you might even be able to use this as a concealer, or if you had something more lightweight, you could go in with this in the areas where you just need a little bit more coverage. But I really just want to give you guys a sense of what that sheen looks like. It feels very moisturizing. It doesn't feel too thick as long as you put on a very thin layer. And I really like the finish that it gives. This reminds me a lot of that Fenty hydrating foundation, which I think unfortunately is getting discontinued. It's one of my favorite foundations. So if you guys have tried that, this is kind of what I'm reminded by when I use this foundation. So I hope that that was helpful for you guys to really see just how much coverage this gives, how to apply it, and what it looks like when you first put it on. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup, and then I will quickly show you guys what this looks like when I have the rest of my makeup on, and then we'll do just a couple of daylight check-ins so you can see the full wear of this product. I am back, friends. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like with the rest of my makeup on. I do not powder my face at all just because I have very dry skin. I like to just kind of embrace the glowiness. I don't feel like this particular foundation needs to be powdered. Maybe if you have oilier skin, you might want to powder it a little bit. But for me, I really wasn't bothered by any kind of like intense shine that needed to be mattified. What I did apply are the Victoria Beckham bronzing bricks. So I do have a powder product on top, and then I use one of the new Guerlain light bronzers for a blush. Okay, so I just kind of use that as like a peachy blush. What I do want to mention, however, is like after applying those, I do see some patchiness here that I did not experience when testing other foundations in my collection this past couple of days. And I do also want to say, for transparency, I was seeing a lot of peeling here after only wearing this foundation for about 20 minutes, and I actually had to kind of like scrub it off and reapply just because I wanted to make sure it wasn't the bronzers that I was using, because those bronzers are relatively new in my collection. So I do have the bronzer up here and on the forehead, and I don't see any issues on the forehead. I think it looks perfect there, but I do see some patchiness here, and I just kind of applied the foundation fresh down here with nothing on top so we can really see how it wears throughout the day. And I applied the primer to this side, okay? And I do want to mention also, the peeling was worse on the primer side, unfortunately. I will definitely keep checking in with you guys throughout the day so you guys can see how this wears, and I will also share with you in my final thoughts how this foundation weared, just kind of testing it for about a full week. So stay tuned. Hey friends, it is now time for my daylight check-in. It is 1:45, and I think I put this foundation on around like 8:30 in the morning. So I've been wearing it for about like 4 or 5 hours, about 5 hours, okay? And I just want to show you how it is looking. I am facing my window. Sorry, it's actually kind of bright outside, so I'm a little bit squinty here, but I want to show you what it looks like. As I mentioned, I thought that it looked a little bit patchy here when I applied my Victoria Beckham bronzing brick. I feel like it looks a little bit worse on the primer side. The forehead looks really pretty. I think that the nose, as you can see here, it's wearing off a little bit on my nose. It's a little bit dry, but I can kind of fix it. It looks okay on my cheeks. Not a huge difference between the primer side and the non-primer side, but I just want to zoom in here and show you how it has settled into my smile lines. And in general, it's just looking a bit dry. It's like looking a bit crusty. I hope you can see that, okay. Around the nose as well. And remember, we put on a very light layer. If anything, guys, I think that this looks worse on the primer side. I hate to say that, but this is what I've been experiencing, and you can kind of smooth that out. You know, we've got lines on our face, but because it's getting kind of dry and makeup-y, it's honestly, guys, it's really hard. It's really hard to fix. It's not just like, oh, it went into my smile lines and I need to kind of like smooth it out. It's actually getting kind of dry and powdery on my face, and this is with absolutely no powder application, no powder setting, nothing like that. So I just want to show you what it looks like in daylight. If I put the camera back here, I think that this looks beautiful. I think it has a really glowy look to it. But once you zoom in, that's when you start to see, like, look at that, this crustiness. So I just want to be honest with you guys, and this is very much in line with what I've been seeing all week. So want to do that daylight check-in. I think this is going to be probably the most important check-in that I do today. I am going to then check in with you guys at the end of the workday before the sun goes down, so you can see what it's like after the end of kind of like a full day at work. So I'll see you there. I'm back, guys, for another check-in of this Yummy Skin foundation and the primer. It is now 5:15, between 5:15 and 5:30. So I've been wearing this for a full work day. In a little bit, I'm gonna go to the gym and run some errands, okay? And so we're gonna see how this foundation continues to wear, but I just wanna check in and let you know that I haven't seen a huge difference in the past couple of hours, other than like my skin is starting to feel really tight. Just wanna show you here how the foundation is kind of breaking up and starting to look very powdery. Once again, I don't see a huge difference between the primer and no primer, and I gotta tell you guys, like, I can't wait to take this foundation off. I know I really hate saying that, but like, I can't wait to take it off my face, but for the sake of this review, I'm gonna leave it on until the end of the night to show you what it looks like. So I just wanted to do a quick check-in and let you know it looks the same. I still think the forehead looks really good. Like, I like the sheen that it gives. I feel like it's hydrated enough there, but basically everywhere else on my face, it's just, it's almost like it just sucked the moisture out of my face, and it's just, yeah. So unfortunately, that is my check-in, and I will check in with you guys at the end of the night, but I wanted to do this before it got too dark, so I hope that this is helpful. Friends, the day is done. Well, kind of. It's about 10 o'clock right now, and I want to check in with you guys one last time before I wash this makeup off my face. Since we last talked, went to the gym, did a weights workout, was outside, a little out and about, so basically out of my house, and I just want to show you guys one last time. It looks so bad. We are not looking yummy. I wanted to look yummy, guys. But as you can see, it's completely kind of breaking down. You can see here where I put on my contour and everything, like all of that makeup is still in place. I still think it looks pretty good on my forehead, but honestly, guys, I feel like every foundation looks good on my forehead. That's not my problem area. My problem area is like right here and on my nose. And yeah, I mean, like, look at that. It's completely crusted up, and this is kind of what I've seen over the past couple of days as I've been testing this in different ways. So I just want to show you that in our final check-in before I go to bed. Obviously, we weren't expecting anything like super good, but yeah, it's not looking great. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of a look into the ingredients to see why maybe this doesn't work for me, and I'm going to try to sum up everything in my final thoughts. So I'll see you there. Okay, friends, now it's time for my final thoughts. What do I think of these new products from DANESSA MYRICKS? Guys, I'm so sad because I really wanted these products to work for me. Unfortunately, they just don't. At least the foundation doesn't. And let's kind of walk through and I'll explain who maybe these might be good for. I did spend about an hour this morning looking through every single ingredient in this Yummy Skin foundation to try and figure out, like, maybe why does it work for other people and why does it not work for me. I am gonna link some other creators down below that reviewed this product so that you guys can see what their thoughts were, because it seems like other people do really like this foundation. So I'm gonna link those down below, but let's kind of dive into my thoughts on each of these products. Starting off with the foundation, as I mentioned in my demo, I don't really think this is medium coverage. I would definitely call this full coverage. I almost think that this is as full coverage as the Vision Cream cover. It's very, very concentrated, but I don't mind that. I'm like, okay, great. I save money, you save product, just use a very little bit, okay? As we showed in the demo. So I don't think this is medium coverage. I do agree with the claim that this finish is radiant. I think where for me, obviously it falls short is that this just wasn't hydrating. It seems like I put it on, it looked great, but I watch videos that I filmed while wearing this and my makeup does look very makeup-y. It looks very cakey. And it could have been that I put maybe like a little bit too much on when I filmed those videos, but throughout the day, as you guys saw in the wear test, it was almost like all of the moisture just got sucked out of my skin, okay, guys? So I took a look at the ingredients that were in this, and this is what I found. And guys, I looked at every single ingredient in this. This has a lot of oils. Like, half of this is just very, very emollient products. And that is what gives it its very, very, well, oil-like texture. And I know that DANESSA likes to use her beauty oil with the Vision Cream cover. I know that she likes oil. She really likes that glowy, kind of glossy look on the skin. And a lot of the oils that are in this, they seem to be really good. Like, they seem to be pretty skin-loving ingredients. I didn't find anything that said, oh, this typically breaks people out. In fact, it seems like there's a lot of good kind of skin barrier smoothing ingredients in here, and even a couple anti-inflammatory properties as well. So I thought that that was really good. The top 5 ingredients on here are oils, and then you have squalane. Squalane typically works pretty well for people. It is a very moisturizing ingredient. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It basically acts similar to your own sebum. So it's really good at controlling oil production. So I just want to mention that just in case if squalane doesn't work for you too often in skincare products, you might want to consider like not using this or like getting a sample, because squalane is kind of the highest rank ingredient out of the ones that she calls out in her claims in the product description. Now, where I think that maybe this doesn't work for my skin type is that while there are a lot of emollient ingredients in this, there aren't that many humectants. Like squalane can be moisturizing. There's also hyaluronic acid in here, but there's not that many humectants. There's no water in here. And I'm guessing what's happening here is that there's not that many humectants, and then maybe there's just also like not many occlusives in here to really seal it into the skin. Comment down below if we have any chemists here who are watching. You know, there's a lot of emollients in here, but just because something is an oil, it doesn't mean that it's actually going to be occlusive, which means that it seals in the moisture. Oils don't provide moisture usually, and not all of them are occlusive. So I just want to call that out. Also, you do want to be careful with products that say that they have hyaluronic acid. In this particular formula, there's kind of like a derivative of that called sodium hyaluronate. It's basically hyaluronic acid that has a lower molecular weight that makes it so that it's easier to penetrate deeper into the skin. And so that can be really good because it's going into the deeper levels of the skin and it's hydrating those layers. But if you don't have something that seals it in, basically what happens there is it just evaporates into the air and takes all of the moisture from your skin into the air. Like basically just sucks out everything into the air. And I think that is what is happening for me. And I want to mention, guys, here, like, I'm rooting for DANESSA MYRICKS. I really wanted to like this. This is just my particular experience. I think that is why this particular product isn't working for my skin, because it just doesn't have enough humectants, and maybe it's just not occlusive enough for me as well. I did see a lot of people liking this product, but I have to be honest with you, and this is kind of like my personal analysis of maybe why it just doesn't look that great on my skin. Now let's get into this glowy serum primer. I don't really see a huge difference with this. Again, I just have to be honest with you guys, and it might just be because I already use a lot of skincare, I already use a lot of like hydrating ingredients. I do think that this has a divine texture. I love the texture and I love the subtle glow that it gives, but once I put it under my foundation, I don't really notice that much of a difference. And I tried this with a couple of other foundations that are a little bit more matte. I tried this with the new Makeup Forever foundation. I tried this with the Suku new liquid foundation. Both of those are a little bit more on like the matte side as opposed to glowy. And I have to be honest, guys, I didn't really see a huge difference with this. I've tried it on one side of my face and not on the other side to see if I could see a difference, and I just don't see a difference, guys. I almost wish that I got the darker color, the Juice Boost, because I feel like that one may have a better impact on my skin, because this one, the Main Squeeze, it really kind of just blends into my skin tone. So I kind of wish that I got the bronzier tone, because I feel like that might give just like a little bit more color, like a little bit more warmth to my skin. So maybe I'll pick up that one and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on the other color. Now, I also looked into the ingredients of this, and for this one, I feel like higher up on the list, we see a lot more active ingredients. Specifically, we see niacinamide and squalane. Those are both really good ingredients. They work for a lot of people. I know some people are a little bit sensitive to niacinamide, so just kind of keep that in mind. And it does also have a lot of fruit extract. So the way that I'm looking at this, guys, is like, to me, this is skincare. This is like skincare. It has a lot of really good ingredients in it. That being said, if you're sensitive to niacinamide and if you're sensitive to like fragrance and things that have a lot of ingredients and fruit extracts, I would probably stay away, because this might irritate your skin. But all in all, I think that this feels really nice. It gives like, I'm guessing, a little boost of hydration. It probably does brighten the skin if you were to use this over time, because it has that niacinamide, and it probably is going to help control your oil production because it has the squalane. But for me, guys, I think because I already have these types of ingredients in my regular skincare routine, this just like isn't providing much for me. So for me, it's not super useful, but I think that this could be a really nice addition to your skincare routine and like a really nice primer, especially if you get the darker color. So those are my thoughts on that. Alrighty friends, I hope that this review was helpful for you. Please comment down below and let me know, did you try these products? Because I really want to know if this is working or not working for other people. Again, I was really excited for this release. Unfortunately, these products, they just don't work very well for my skin tone, but I would love to hear if you guys have any tips on how maybe I can make these work. Again, we all have different skin types. We all have different preferences in our foundation, and your opinion matters just as much as mine. So please sound off in the comments down below and let me know what you think. And if you made it through this video, thank you. I know it was a little bit longer than usual just because we're kind of really going in depth with these foundation reviews. And if you're still watching, maybe it means that you like the video, and definitely consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you guys as a part of my community. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will also put my Instagram handle up here if you guys want to connect with me on Instagram. That's the best way to kind of connect with me day to day. I tell you guys everything that I'm buying. I show you guys all my little makeup hauls, tell you about all of the great sales that are happening within the beauty community. So if you want to connect with me on the daily, definitely follow me on Instagram. I hope that you guys are having a yummy, delicious, fantastic week, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.